Welcome to this episode of Best of America by Horseback. I'm Tom Seay. On this episode, we're taking you to Michigan, an island in the Great Lakes called Mackinac Island. This is a place where the horse is king. On this island, like no other place we've ever seen, there are no motorized vehicles. To get around the island, you walk, bike, or you go by horse. The street cleaning, the police, even the UPS delivery of goods, lumber, merchandise is all by carriage or wagon. Probably most prominent here is the horse taxi. And here the horses are incredibly fit and very content. They are something to see, and these carriages are something to ride. When you visit, you come over by ferry, including your horse. If you'd like to bring your horse here, they have a place to park your trailer, and you bring your horse on the ferry as well as the people, and you come to the island. The island is rich in history with forts, colonial history, and one of the most pristine and beautiful parks you'll ever visit anywhere in America. And by the way, if you like fudge and have a sweet tooth, fudge is also king at this island, with more shops and fudge than you can possibly imagine, and we tried to visit them all. Their host was the Mackinac Horsemen's Association. They are dedicated to preserve and teach the traditions of the horse. Whether you ride English or Western, you can take lessons. They have a 4-H center. The Equestrian Center is suited for you to come visit whether you have ever ridden before, you just want to learn to ride, or you're an advanced horseman. You can come with your horse or you can ride with theirs. This is one of the few places that you can really have a horse vacation like none other. I want you to sit back and relax and enjoy this very special episode of Best of America by Horseback. I'm Tom Seay. We'll be right back.
On this very special two-part episode of Best of America by Horseback, we are riding with viewers on Mackinac Island in Michigan as guests of the Mackinac Horsemen's Association and the Mackinac Community Equestrian Center. The Horsemen's Association hosted us and a limited number of our viewers for a special ride weekend on historic and charming Mackinac Island. Motorized vehicles have been banned from the island since 1898, making this town the only one of its kind in the nation.
So we have this pre-automotive ambiance and heavy use of horses. On top of that, about 83% of the island is a state park, Michigan's first state park. And so we have this historic preservation, we have this natural preservation, we have this preservation of this pre-automotive character, and so it makes a very unique place for people to come. And I think that's why people are so enamored when they come to the island, because they find a unique atmosphere and they can really see America the way it used to be.
The Mackinac Horsemen's Association's mission is to preserve the horse culture on Mackinac Island for future generations. The Mackinac Equestrian Center was built as part of their mission. Here, locals can board their horses, as well as tourists who want to bring their own horses to this beautiful island. But education, kids, and horsemanship is the focus of the center.
Here, there's a focus on horsemanship, on riding lessons and doing it right. I'm pretty proud of that, aren't you?
Yeah, it's what my drive here is all about. So we really kind of start everybody from the ground up. We want you to feel really comfortable around the horse, so we'll teach you everything from the basics of what brushes to use, what kind of tack the horse wears, to getting you out there. If some people come, they're pretty advanced, they want more of a vacation type ride, we cater to that as well. But our mission here at the Equestrian Center is really built around horsemanship and just making sure that the future generations here on Mackinac Island have a place to come and learn how to ride and can carry what's so great about this island into the future.
Our weekend started on the mainland, where Ashley met our crew and the riders in St. Ignace at the ferry dock. Trucks and trailers are left here in the ferry line parking area, and horses, fully tacked, are walked onto the ferry.
For folks watching saying, hey, I want to do this, but I don't know if my horse likes boats, walk me through it.
The first thing to do is definitely call, and then we usually answer some initial questions and then push you onto our website. On our website, there's a page where you can do online registration. Right up till the day you get here, we're available for you for questions that you have. The horses generally do really well on the boat. I would say usually if the owners are confident and pretty calm and relaxed, the horses, they follow right behind that. We generally like to have groups of 6 to 8, no larger at a time, come over. We get lots of couples and young trail riders that come over for a couple days at a time. They load up on the boat. It's about a 35-minute ride over, and we make sure that the water is calm when you're coming over.
First time you came here, how do you remember it?
I remember, it's very visual, it's still in my mind. You see the Grand Hotel when you're coming up and it just looks like something you've never seen before. And then you see this park that we're standing in front of. And then you see all these horses, and there's something it does with your whole body. You just start to relax a little bit. Your blood pressure goes down a little bit, and it's something that I'm fortunate to be able to relive every day because I ride that boat every day with our customers, and they just have a marvelous first impression.
When you step off the ferry, you feel as if you've stepped back in time. On the next dock, we saw horse-drawn drays lined up, picking up supplies from trucks to be distributed all over the island. Everything that needs to be delivered on the island is delivered by horsepower. Ashley walked with dismounted riders and their horses through the bustling downtown. With no worries, it's just a couple of blocks. The town itself is only 2 streets wide.
That town, which is right in front of us, down in front of the fort, was laid out also during the American Revolutionary War. It's laid out the same way today, just 2 streets, and the fort protected it with its cannons, and still got that same basic layout today. So when people come here, they really do get a sense of not only what it's like today and how beautiful it is today, but they can look around and really understand why it developed and how it developed historically.
Ashley organized several great rides for our group over the weekend. The first ride took them right by both Fort Holmes and Fort Mackinac, so they could get a taste of the history of the island, up close and personal.
And you have living history demonstrations here?
Yes, all day long. We have cannon firings and rifle firings. We do demonstrations of guard mounting. We march people around the fort, and we have lots of exhibits that are interactive and fun for all ages.
And this 6-pounder can take a 6-pound cast iron cannonball and fire it the distance of a mile. Now if you look out over the water, you'll see Round Island out there. That is about a mile away. And at that distance, we can say with absolute certainty that we would hit a target roughly the size of Round Island out there. It's not a terribly accurate cannon at that range. Its actual accurate range is about half a mile, which is about to the end of the stone breakwater out there. So these cannons are very good at defending the harbor and defending the village of Mackinac, which is really what this fort's primary purpose was.
Phil, most of the riding we're going to be doing is on the state park land. Tell us about some of the historic structures we're going to go past and
Sure.
some of the landscape that we're going to see.
Yeah, you're going to be able, within half an hour or 45 minutes, you're going to really be able to see the highlights of Mackinac Island State Park. First of all, you'll probably start up at the top of the island where we have Fort Holmes. It's a reconstructed War of 1812 fort, just recently reconstructed as a bicentennial project that we undertook. It's not only a wonderfully historic area, but from up there you have the most magnificent views over Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, the Straits of Mackinac, the Mackinac Bridge. Just a great place to stop, whether you're walking, biking, or on a horseback, and just enjoy the views.
So Fort Holmes, you can ride right up and around it, and it's got a beautiful view. It's actually the highest point on the island, so you can ride right up to it, hop off for a moment, walk around the fort if you'd like. It's a great spot for pictures if you want to get the water behind you and the bridge.
This is truly one of the most beautiful places I've visited and seen. You have got to come here. This is truly the very best of America as well. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Best of America by Horseback is riding with viewers on Mackinac Island in Michigan as guests of the Mackinac Horsemen's Association. Our base of operations for the weekend was out of the Mackinac Community Equestrian Center, where manager Ashley Day arranged indoor stalls and outdoor paddocks for our equine. The center is a wonderful facility with a museum, indoor stalls, and an education center where our group gathered for meals, demos, and entertainment.
The facility here, you can put horses in. Well, my horses are in a paddock, or you can put them in stalls. How many stalls do we have here?
We have 13 stalls. They're 10 by 12, and then we also have 8 paddocks with run-in sheds. So generally our boarders get a stall. Sometimes if we can accommodate getting you in a paddock, we definitely will. The best time of year to come out to board, that's always a question that I get, is usually September. The weather's really nice, anywhere from late August, usually through September into October. May and June is also a nice time. So those are the times that you can come out, and usually if we've got room to put you in a paddock, we'll get you in a paddock then. During the middle of the summer, we're quite busy out here with lessons.
Someone who rides very little or none at all, and they really want to get into horses, this is a pretty safe place to go. Your horse can't leave the island.
Yes.
But they can come here and they can take lessons here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And you supply the horses.
Yep.
Tell me about your lesson program.
Yeah, so we have a number of horses here in our program that we do lessons with, both English and Western. We generally start you out at least a couple of hours in the arena before we do anything out on the trail. We want to make sure that you're kind of getting a good foundation from everything to brushing the horse, tacking the horse up, learning the basics, feeling really comfortable and safe before we take you out on the trail. So that's kind of our focal point. We do a number of events throughout the year too, clinics and different things where you can come and even like lease a horse for the week if you don't want to bring your own horse over and ride.
The do's and don'ts. We don't ride downtown.
Yep, correct.
That's a safe thing not to ride downtown. But the rest of the island, everything that moves here is by horse-drawn. Whether it's cleaning the streets or it's delivering hay or groceries or supplies, everything is by horse. So it sort of takes you back in time. The trails that you ride from out of here, you go how close to the forts? For example, people think maybe they're way over there, but maybe not so much.
No, you can ride right up to them. So Fort Holmes, you can ride right up and around it, and it's got a beautiful view. It's actually the highest point on the island, so you can ride right up to it, hop off for a moment, walk around the fort if you'd like. It's a great spot for pictures if you want to get the water behind you and the bridge. Also Sugarloaf Rock and Arch Rock, you can ride right up to those as well.
The second ride Ashley laid out for our group took riders past these natural wonders. They meandered through beautiful wooded bridle trails in the state park. It had rained a lot of the time we were there, but the footing on the trails was still very good. When riders arrived at Point Lookout, they could look down on Sugarloaf Rock, where they would eventually end up riding around this natural wonder.
At Point Lookout, and from there you can look out over Sugarloaf Rock. It's one of the many rock formations on the island that are so wonderful and unique. It's a geological stack that's about 80 feet high, and it has wonderful Native American stories wrapped around it, and it's just beautiful to see. From there you can wind your way down to Arch Rock, which is probably the most famous Mackinac limestone formation. It's a wonderful natural stone arch through which you can see the beautiful waters of Lake Huron, and it just sort of takes your breath away when you see it. It's really quite beautiful.
It's very stunning.
You just ride through the forest, and we have these beautiful forests with hardwoods and conifer trees and natural wildflowers. It's really a beautiful place to ride, and the bridle paths are just lovely to ride on. They're good surfaces to ride on for horses as well. Occasionally you'll stop and you'll get an overlook over this beautiful Straits of Mackinac water, and that's beautiful as well. You may get a chance to ride up and down the east or west bluff, some of the most magnificent Victorian cottages in the Midwest. So there's everything to see, from War of 1812 forts to Victorian houses to natural geological formations that are breathtaking.
When Best of America by Horseback returns, we'll learn more about riding on Mackinac Island and look at places where you can stay when you come here. Stay tuned. Tom and Kristen are riding with viewers on Mackinac Island in Michigan as guests of the Mackinac Horsemen's Association and the Mackinac Community Equestrian Center.
Our property is part of where the Battle of War of 1812. It was fought on this piece of property and across the street at where the Washington Golf Course is. It was fought in 1814, and the Americans tried to get the fort back, and they did not do very well with it. So, and then it was deeded over after the war ended back to the Americans. But we are on state park property. Mackinac Historic State Parks at least this land for 20 years, and we're very thankful for the state park. We've got 3.5 acres right now, and we're trying to get another couple acres next door to enlarge our facility so we can have more riders like you guys come to the island.
For those riders that want to bring their own horses over to the island and come ride, how do they do that? They stay here at the Horse Center?
Well, we have the horses stay here. We've got 15 inside stalls, and we've got several on the outside in the paddocks. As far as humans, when they come to the island, we suggest they go to the Inn at Stonecliff and Mission Point. Those are two really good hotels, and they love to have riding people come.
Some of our crew and guests stayed at Mission Point, and some stayed at Stonecliff. Stonecliff is the closest accommodations to the Equestrian Center, and many of the guests walked or rode bikes to and from the inn.
Tell me more about this. This is not just a place to come visit and do weddings here.
We do.
The lawn is immaculate. The trails go right through this area. I'm just watching now horses and wagons going by. This is a way of life here.
Absolutely, and it was built as a single family's summer home. So you can get that ambiance when you come up and see the mansion for the first time, and you get to experience that when you stay here as well. And we have awesome grounds that kids love to run around and play, great for bringing people up for a really cool, unique experience that you're not going to get elsewhere on the island or elsewhere in the country.
All kinds of great places to eat.
Yeah, we have a restaurant right inside the mansion on site that has great views of the Mackinac Bridge and the Straits, so that's fabulous dining. We have a lounge as well inside the mansion, so really great options for dining up here.
Can groups come here, riding groups come and spend a weekend or a week here?
We would love to have riding groups come up here, individuals come up with their horses. We are open and accepting of all of that great stuff.
The way you get around on the island is a taxi.
Mm-hmm.
All horse-drawn.
All horse-drawn taxis, yes.
And so people have to adjust to that a little bit.
You do, you're on horse time here, and horses don't tell time. So you have to kind of take a step back and just really get into the island experience that you can't rush around, you gotta go with the flow.
You have the opportunity to stay here in your summer house and suites. Talk about those.
So the summer house building is the newer building on property. It's about 20 years old, and they're modern style suites with a kitchenette, a microwave, and a mini fridge. And some of the rooms have balconies and patios, and then it's right adjacent to our pool as well. And that building also has air conditioning and an elevator, so it's accessible for everybody. And then you can also stay in the mansion, which has 16 guest rooms, and you would get to experience staying in a really cool mansion for the night, which is fun.
I kind of snuck off and looked around a little bit. There's not a place here where there's not a beautiful view. Just grab a chair, relax, take a nap, read a book. It's a place that people can also unwind.
Absolutely, yes. We're working on building a paddock over there, so you can saddle your horse up right over and park and have a meal before you get back on. If you're looking for more of the resort type feel, we also work with Mission Point downtown. So that's more of an all-inclusive. If you want to go get a massage after riding all day on the trails, it's definitely possible.
Next week on part 2 of our trip to Mackinac Island in Michigan, we will visit Mission Point downtown on the waterfront. We will also dine downtown at the Pink Pony and get back out on the trails with viewers as Ashley takes us on another ride through the state park out to British Landing, where you have the opportunity to ride out into the water. Join us again next week for part 2 of our trip to Mackinac Island in Michigan.